Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game SO. Today I got a fun and interesting episode for you guys this evening because as of yesterday, itch.io's website was taken down and they've lost their domain for a period of time, and that's all due to AI bots scraping the internet and a company called Brand Shield. If you're wondering why I'm using the Nintendo Sues Everyone and why are they doing it intro, it's going to relate back to Nintendo in a tangential way. I'm going to talk about what's going to be happening on the internet pretty much every single week, I'm sure, in 2025. But this was a very weird situation and a bunch of people sent me the link immediately as it happened, but it comes down to AI bots crawling the internet for Brand Shield, looking for different infringing content and other issues they may have with websites, as well as a flawed process that took itch.io down. The good news is, as of the recording of this video, the website is back up, and it is absolutely an amazing repository of so many different fun fan games. There's so many unique things on this site. It's basically the anti-Steam, in which it is just for people kind of playing around, but there is a ton of amazing content on there as well. If you played Celeste 64, you got that from itch.io. If you played the original Celeste, you got that there as well. This website is absolutely a gem as far as games are concerned, and again we see another gaming website or another gaming resource taken down, at least momentarily, based upon the DMCA and all of these insane copyright bots that are running around the internet. Because if you think there's real humans behind any of this, I can absolutely guarantee you that is not how this works anymore, and that's why it's going to be a much bigger problem in 2025 as these algorithms and other AIs basically come online. And this all comes down to the company Funko. They make those plastic toys that it seems like every other human being on Earth has. My nephew has a metric crap ton of them, and while I'm not judging you for owning them, if you do like them, they've never really made too much sense for me, but that is just me. And basically there was something on the itch.io website that Funko, the company, would have not been happy with, and apparently this company, Brand Shield, went like 12 steps too far in the overall process and sent so many different notifications to Itch's web registrar that they lost their domain and weren't online for a period of time yesterday. And that is again because these are not human controlled activities. It is all AI, and that is the reality of the situation. It is an algorithm that's basically overstepped its bounds by so many different steps. It should be a situation where a human being looks at these things and realizes it's not working correctly or it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing and stop there, but that is not at all what happened. And the reason I'm tying this into the Nintendo series is this is what we saw with Vim's Lair and a couple other websites earlier this year, where a company called Mark Monitor was also using AI detection software to go through websites and issue DMCA takedown requests. At one point in time, Nintendo sent over 8,000 requests in a single 24-hour period, proving full well that that was not a human being writing 8,000 and change DMCA takedown requests. It is all automated, and this is something you're definitely going to be seeing a lot more in 2025. AI is a hot button issue, but for me personally as an artist, it is putting a lot of people I know out of work, and I do not like it whatsoever, but I'm going to try to not be biased here. But this is the disappointing part of how this thing is going to work moving forward. AIs are going to be going through and basically taking down anything they don't like, even if they shouldn't be doing it. In Nintendo's instance with Vim's Lair and other websites, they used a company called Mark Monitor, and in Funko's instance against itch.io, they used the company called Brand Shield. They are different companies, but they all serve the same purpose. Corporations hire these companies and use their AI models to attempt to remove things they don't want online, but these things can and will absolutely overstep their bounds basically every single time they're employed, because AI is a very interesting concept, but it is not something that has been mastered by anybody, and in instances where it is allowed to run wild and do whatever it wants, you have situations where itch.io is taken offline because of a single instance of something Funko related being on the website that the itch.io team said they immediately removed upon receiving notification that it was there, which is exactly what you're supposed to do, and that's all you really do need to do: remove the information. If we talk about Brand Shield's brand solution here, they're basically trying to stop fraudulent activities, and they crawl basically every single website out there, including social media. But if the AI model is flawed, then it's going to do too good of a job and absolutely go crazy. Now, this company definitely probably does something good here. They talk about looking for counterfeit sales online. Obviously, if you want to buy something, you don't want a counterfeit. That is a very big issue in camera hardware. You go out there to buy a battery on Amazon, you might get a counterfeit from China that is absolutely garbage. So this is something I could support, trying to make sure that customers don't buy counterfeit goods that are either cheaper than the original quality or in some instances can actually be harmful to the device you're trying to use them on. Same thing happens with SD cards and micro SD cards. There's so many counterfeits out out there. This is something that the overall industry could absolutely use, but is being extended way too far, because in this instance with Brand Shield going across every single social media platform, the AI definitely had a problem last night and went so hard against itch.io for something as simple as Funko Pop that the entire website just disappeared. Now imagine if they just decided to walk away and say, you know what, screw it, we're not interested in trying this again, we're done, this is getting too hard, or if it became a bigger issue, because they're going to say here on Brand Shield that every single takedown request has a 98% success rate. Well, they were definitely successful at taking down the entirety of itch.io last night. That may have been a little bit too successful, but this company is also going to tell you that there's always a human being to handle the takedown requests. There was no human beings involved in this because nobody would have sent this many requests and gone this hard. This is just the AI automatically issuing its own requests out there. I can't think of any other way this would go. And it's not like itch.io is just a platform for developers to sell you games. Students host projects on this website. Apparently even one kid lost his homework and couldn't give it to his professor for a grade. It is a very fundamental website when it comes to games, especially on the indie side of things, and stuff like this just absolutely puts video games at jeopardy. Take a look at something here. Let's just pick one game off the top. This one seemed kind of interesting to me, Krusty Proto. And this is what you're going to see on itch.io. They are fun fan projects. They're just kind of playing around with overall game formulas and tropes and trying to be a little bit creative in the process. There's a ton of fun to be had on itch.io, and at least in this game's instance, it was the first one I saw that intrigued me, so go and play it and tell me if it's any good or not. But I do love its sense of humor. This is the rear exit key, and you definitely set an alarm off by trying to go through the rear exit without permission. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a joke in the game, but that's how I read it, and if it is, it was very well done. If you can't tell already, 100% inspired by something like Resident Evil. But this is what itch.io is. It hosts thousands upon thousands of games, some of them just fun fan demos, some made at game jams, some stuff like Celeste and Celeste 64. It really does run the gamut, and I love this zombie here in the corner. This is intentionally done to be glitchy like a prototype found game, and that's why I do love itch.io. There's so many different unique experiences out there, and when something like an AI algorithm runs rampant and takes it down, it just kind of indicates where this is all going to be going in the future. And before you go down below and say clickbait or fear mongering, I've been talking about all of this Nintendo stuff, all of the DMCA stuff for almost a year now, and I have been basically correct the entire time, because when Nintendo says 8,535 DMCA notices in one day, I guarantee you again, that is an AI model doing these things. Now imagine all the automation out there on the internet, and imagine if it decides to be a little bit more stringent, or it bugs out a little bit more. What's the next thing that's going to be taken down, even temporarily, because of these situations? Because copyright protection, DMCA, these are all very popular things in 2024, and brands are just going to be getting more aggressive in 2025, feeling like they're quote-unquote protecting their properties. And there is nothing wrong with a company like Funko trying to make sure that they protect their IP and it doesn't appear online in uses that they have not approved. But partnering with a company like Brand Shield, whose AI model went so aggressively that it was able to convince itch.io's domain registrar to remove the website from the internet, that is not how these things should work, and that should be absolutely terrifying to pretty much anyone who understands how big of a deal this truly is. Because again, itch.io is just such a great repository of so many incredible games, so many incredible experiences and fan projects. Losing something like this online would just be absolutely a bummer if it was permanent. And trust me, again, you're going to be seeing this a lot more in 2025. Mark my words, I feel like there's going to be another big wave of takedowns coming, probably just after the holiday and before the launch of the Switch 2, or at least the announcement. We'll just have to wait and see how right or wrong I am here. But if you haven't heard yet, itch.io was down because of some crazy AI business out there. It's Skynet all over again, except this time they don't have turret guns, they have takedown requests. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Love chatting with you guys, and next time we get an update on any of this, I will update the video as well. But we are done. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.